Hi, friends. Good morning. I just realized the counter started over because I was too busy trying to figure out the chat on my phone. I'm watching this too online. And if you guys are there, give me a shout, say hi. I would love to hear from you. There we go. Now I've got it. If you don't see where the chat is, just scroll down a bit and you should be able to find it. If you're watching this on your computer or on your TV and you don't see the chat available, then go ahead and log in on your phone too and just turn sound off or whatever so that you can actually use the chat function because it's actually pretty cool to use during class because we can actually communicate. You can tell me what you need and I would love that. Say hi. Hello, Helena. I am so happy you're here. And anyone else who's here, go ahead and say hi. Let me know where you're at. I'm going to set up my computer to look at my mat. There we go. All right. Now, if you guys have any questions or anything specific that you want to work on, go ahead and put that into the chat right now so that I can see what you may want to work on. The other thing that's kind of cool about this class is Vina, hi! Oh my gosh, I'm so excited you're here. If you guys have anything specific you want to work on, let me know. If you have anything that, like, as I'm teaching the class and you're like, that stretch isn't really working for me, then also shout out, let me know, and I will try to give you some sort of variation. I have lots of ideas. I have lots of things that I do. So I have very many things. What is this? Venmo. What do you mean, Helena? Venmo. You want to pay for class? I actually have a link in the description below about how to pay through PayPal if you feel like making a contribution. So feel free to do that. But of course, if you are one of those people who have suffered because of this lockdown, then don't pay. Don't worry about it. But any of you guys who do have disposable income who are able to help out, please do. Because, I want to keep the studio open if I can. And right now it's just gathering dust over there. So this has become my studio space, which is, it's good. I don't have to take the train. I'm amazed at how much I'm sleeping, like how tired I was. I had no idea until I was forced to just hang out with myself for a long time. It's kind of crazy. So I'm really interested. Yes, PayPal, it's right below if you want to help out. It would be super awesome. But again, no pressure, you guys. I'm so happy to do this for the good of everyone who needs it. And I know life is going to be really strange for a lot of people. So, if you are able to help, yes, do. If you can't, still watch. Do as much as you want. Make use of the services that I'm giving because I really feel like my knowledge is important, I hope, and I hope you feel the same way. Anyway, what do you guys think? Anything specific you want to work on? Go ahead and put that in the chat. I don't know why it keeps closing down on me. Hi, Jennifer. I'm glad you're here. Super glad you're here. Great. Okay. Well, maybe because it's paused. That's why. All right. I need to go. There we go. Oh, I can hear my own voice. All right. Let's get to it. All right. I think, what am I feeling like today? I've actually been doing a lot of stretching because usually during class I walk around and help everyone out. And now that I'm actually doing class online, I'm actually doing the stretches. So I'm trying to think of where I've been kind of sore, what I really want to work on for myself. I'm actually feeling really great. Let's start with our hips and we'll move on from there, okay? Let's start with the back of our hips. So we're gonna lay on our back. Bring your right leg on top of your left leg and grab your left leg with both hands. So you actually reach through. You're not grabbing your right leg, you're just grabbing your left leg and the right leg comes over top. Now you'll resist like you're trying to push your right leg out and away. And when you do that, it's gonna engage this muscle on the outside of your glute. So let's go ahead and get that engaged. You'll feel your arms your legs want to push your arms apart. You'll push with your right leg until your arms are straight. If you want, you can also continue pushing until you come up into a crunch. And then you just lay back and get a deep stretch through your glute. And you just go back and forth. We're going to do 5 of these and then come back and revisit it and do 5 more later. So just do a couple rotations. If you guys have any problems with this at all, just skip it. You should feel it here in the outside of your hip, but not in the front here and not on your inner thighs. So if you're feeling anything like that, just go ahead and switch to the other side, okay? And you just go back and forth. And then let's go ahead and switch sides. So bring your left leg on top of your right leg. Grab your right leg with both hands. Push with your left leg like you're trying to match your right leg. So you're trying to kick out. That's going to engage the glute on your left side. And then push with that left leg. Fight with your arms until your arms are straight. Maybe up into a crunch if that feels good. And then back down for your stretch. I'm continuing to resist with my left leg. So you just go back and forth. Now, this is a resistance stretching, guys. I just assume that you kind of know what you're doing, but let me back up for a second and give you a little bit of the rules of this. If you've never done Ki-Hara before, you may want to check out some of my other videos, of course, and see if you can, just to try out some things and do this at a little bit of a different pace. But for those of you who are like, I just want to connect, I just want to do something live today, then you have 3 rules you have to follow. The first rule is that you move all the time, don't hold any stretches. The second rule is that you resist all the time, so you'll keep your muscles engaged all the time. And the third rule is that if anything hurts, stop, okay? Your body is telling you that like this is not the right stretch for you. We're going to loop through and come back to some of these stretches later. So if you feel like something's not quite working right, don't power through because you can actually hurt yourself. Just take it nice and easy. Stop when your body says stop. That means if you have any cramping, if you have any pain, if you feel a stretch that's like very local instead of being a big long stretch, it should feel like the whole muscle stretching. If you just feel a little piece, then don't do it. If you have any questions, let me know. You can reach out in the chat. You've got different audio. Let's see. Hopefully, is it okay now? Let me know, okay? So those are the real important things. All right, so let's go ahead into a stretch for our inner thighs, and then we'll keep moving through, okay? So lay on your back. Bring your feet up towards the ceiling, and squeeze your legs together while you try to open your arms up to the side. So squeeze in for strength and open for your stretch. And you just go back and forth. I think that other audio might have been when I pulled up my chat on the phone. That was actually my video on my phone. So you just go back and forth, in and out. You should feel the stretch in your inner thighs here. Remember to resist the whole time. So you're resisting in for strength, and you're resisting out for your stretch. So my legs are trying to squeeze in, and my arms are fighting that force. You just go back and forth. Nice job. All right. Now we're going to go into a stretch for the front of our hips. This one is a lunge, so you'll bring your right leg in the front and your left leg behind, and you're going to squeeze both legs together. So I'm actually trying to pull my front leg back while I try to pull my back leg forward. It's almost like if you were trying to take off running. If you're like, here we go, right? So you kind of grab that force, and then use your front leg to pull you into a lunge. As you do that, straighten up your body a bit so that your hips are leading. You feel all of this coming from here, and then you come back into strength training. And so your hips lead you back, and then your hips lead you forward. And you just go back and forth. And let me just check to make sure you guys are all okay. Good, you are. All right. And just keep going back and forth. Forward for stretch. You should feel it in the front of your hip here. And again, if you don't feel that, or if it doesn't feel good, or if this stretch feels really confusing, just stop and watch. And then you can come back and try it again later. Maybe you can internalize it a little more, or there might be some other stretches that are just kind of getting in the way and keeping you from being able to do this stretch. So we'll go back for strength and forward for stretch. And let's go ahead and switch sides now. So bring your right leg behind and your left leg in front, and then you'll try to squeeze both legs in. So your front leg is pulling back, and your back leg is trying to kick forward. And so you just go back and forth, pulling with your front leg, and then back with your back leg. And as you come up into the stretch, make sure that you're keeping your weight on your back leg and not leaning into your front leg. So leaning on your front leg would look like this, where I'm like actually, like you could actually like lean down and all the weight is on your foot and your knee on the back feels like you could lift it up. It should not feel like that in this stretch. When you back the stretch in the right way, here I am here, it should feel like you could pick your heel up on the front and your back leg has all the weight on your knee. Does that make sense? I hope that's good for you guys. That'll get the stretch into the right place. All right, and let's do one more. Very good. Okay, now we're going to go into a stretch for your hamstrings. So you can lay on your back, grab the rope or a towel or something if you need it. Otherwise, you can just grab your foot. It really depends on how flexible you are. So if you lay on your back and you can't reach your foot, then you just wrap a towel around your foot. Or you can just grab your foot with both hands. But you want your knee pointing straight in towards your body. From here, kick down for strength, and then pull up for your stretch. So my hamstring is engaged the whole time right here. I'm holding the rope in both hands and pulling up over my head. Now again, we're aiming for about 5 of these, but if you do not feel your hamstring stretch here, if you feel it kind of pinching in the front, then you can skip this one and we'll come back to it. If you want to grab your foot, it looks like this. So you just pull it here and kick down for strength. Okay, so you have both options there. And let's switch sides. So you'll kick down for strength and pull up for your stretch. Down for strength and up for a stretch. I'm pulling the rope over my head. I'm focusing on pulling it this way, not this way. That's a common mistake that people make. So if you find yourself trying to pull your elbows to the floor, you're doing it wrong. You want to try to focus on pulling your elbows over your head. If you do that, you'll get the stretch in the right place. So pull your elbows over your head and then kick down for strength. Again, you should feel this right in the back of your hamstring here. Right here. And if you don't feel that, it's okay. Just make a note of it, and then we'll come back to it later. All right? Okay, let's go back to the stretch for our glutes and see if we've made some gains there, or see if we can make a little more gain. We'll do our next 5 for these for a total of 10 stretches in the same stretch, okay? So bring your right leg up. Grab your left leg with both hands. You're just going to reach right through. It's like threading the needle through your figure 4. Push out for strength and pull in for your stretch. And you'll feel your glute stretch on the right side. You just go back and forth, forward for strength and pull in for your stretch. And you should feel this again in your right glute. It might feel different than it did the time before, and that's a good thing. That means you're making progress. If it feels the same, that's okay too. It just means that you are already balanced there. If you have any pain in this stretch still, then you may want to check out some of my problem-solving videos. They're all pre-recorded on my site. So they're on my channel, so you can find them. This would be the abductor problem-solving video. So now I've got my left leg up here. I reach through and grab my right leg with both hands, and you're going to push out for strength. You can come up into a crunch if you feel like it, and then pull down for stretch. I don't always feel like coming up like that. Sometimes I just stay relaxed. You know, your muscles are working anyway, so like you don't have to go crazy. Some people want a little extra workout though, and so if you do want that extra workout, come up for strength and then pull back for your stretch, and that will also engage your lats through the front of your body. All right, good. You guys are doing okay? Feel free to chime in at any time if you have any questions, okay? I'm happy to answer them. And then we're going to go into a stretch for your inner thighs. So go ahead and lay on your back again, and we're going to stretch out our splits in the air stretch. So we'll complete the next 5 of this set. You'll squeeze in with your legs and pull open with your arms. So I squeeze in, my legs are fighting and my arms are winning. And then for strength, my legs win and my arms fight. It's totally normal for this one to shake a lot. So don't be surprised if you're really trembly. That's a good sign. Open for your stretch and close it up for strength. You may find that you have a little bit more control now. You might feel a deeper stretch. It might feel like you're getting more range of motion. It might shake even more than before. That would be okay. You just play around with it. See what feels good to you. Let's do one more. Good job, you guys. And go ahead and roll over, and we're going to get into our hip flexor stretch next, okay? This hip flexor stretch is super important, you guys. It's this muscle right here. It's for your psoas muscle. The psoas muscle is the one that pulls you into a fetal position. And if you guys have been, like 99% of the population, a little traumatized this week, then your psoas muscle is getting engaged, because that's kind of our surrender muscle group, and we're kind of in that stage right now. If you are in that position, then you need to make sure that you keep your hip flexors nice and supple. That's going to keep you from putting this trauma in your body, and that will make sure that you keep everything open. The psoas muscle hooks into your lumbar spine, so if you're having low back pain, that could be why. So let's work on getting this muscle opened up. Bring your right leg in the front and your left leg behind. And then you're going to try to squeeze your front leg back while you pull your back leg forward at the same time. So it's like you're trying to bunch your mat up in the middle. Use your front leg to pull you into the lunge, lean back just a tad, and then use your back leg to pull you back. You guys take this stretch nice and easy, nice and slow. Think about it being very nurturing for you. This is the muscle that gives you a hug, right? So it's like, give yourself a hug. Come down into that stretching. Kind of you could even actually physically give yourself a hug. It wouldn't be a bad thing. And then, you know how when you just had a great hug and you release that hug? Let it open up. And you feel that opening. It's like the opposite end. And then hug back in. And then open up. You should feel the stretch all through the left side here, my left leg in the back. So whatever your back leg is, you should feel that in the front part of your hip. And maybe even up through your abdomen. You can open your arms wide if you want to. You can bring them up over your head. That sometimes feels good. Just do whatever feels great to you, but let this be very nurturing for you. That means not too much resistance. Don't move too fast. Don't beat yourself up if it doesn't feel good. Just do what feels right to you. Oh, this is so important. Whew. So nice. Okay, and let's switch sides. So your right leg behind and your left leg in the front. And again, you're going to try to squeeze in. Use your front leg to pull you forward into that stretch. And then use your back leg to pull you back in, thinking of pulling into that fetal position or giving yourself a hug or whatever you need. Squeeze in. And then reverse that motion and open up. You should feel this right through the front of your right hip and maybe up through your abdomen. That would all be okay. If you don't feel that, or if this feels painful, or if it's just too intense for you, either slow down and get smaller range of motion, so maybe just move this much, or just skip this stretch and come back and try this class again another day. You could also do some problem solving. This one would be your hip flexor problem solving. So you can look up that video as well. I should probably put all the problem solving videos in a playlist. I'll do that today so that it'll be easy for you guys to find. And that way you can do a little bit more work on your own if you feel like you need to open up in a particular area. Sound good? And just close, and then as you open up, think about really opening, whether you're raising your arms up or pulling them back. But really take some time to nurture yourself and open up in that direction. All right. Whew. Let's take a little breather and assimilate what just happened in our bodies. So grab some water. Take it easy. I know that feels so good. And when you're ready, we're going to go into our hamstring stretch. So you're going to go ahead and lay on your back. You can use your towel or your rope or whatever you have handy, or just grab your foot with your hand. I showed you guys this with the towel before, so I'll show you what it looks like with your hands this time. Just grab the ball of your foot with both hands, kick your heel down towards your glutes, and then use your arms to pull up. So you're kicking down for strength and pulling up for stretch. You just go back and forth. Down for strength and up for stretch. You guys, we have somebody awesome here today. Via, I'm going to give you a shout out. I hope you don't mind. Via, she's in the chat right now, runs a course called Intelligent Movement Forever. Via, if you have a link for that, put it in the chat so people can find it. If you are in the aging population, although I know that this is also for anybody, but especially like Via is really attuned to movement needs for people who are starting to lose their mobility. Look that up. And Via, if you want to change what I just said, feel free to do that. Just put a link in the chat for us, okay? And that way people can look for your information too, especially if you're looking for something a little bit more intense. Okay, let's do the other side. Grab your hands with, grab your left leg with both hands, kick down for strength, and pull up for your stretch. Down for strength and up for stretch. And here you'll get your hamstring stretch again right down the back. And you can use your towel if you need it. Okay, Helena, sorry we'll miss you. Glad you're feeling better. And check in and watch the video again another time. Okay? Have a good day. And let's make sure we get all these stretches in. And then we're going to move on into some stretches for our arms. Oh, I think, what to do. There's so many options. So many things. I've really felt like working on the front of my chest has been very helpful. So I'm going to actually grab a chair and we're going to do a stretch for the front of our shoulders. I hope you guys can see me okay. You can. Okay, so here I am like bent over, right? And I've got my hands on the chair. I'm going to push my hands down into the chair, sort of like if I was trying to like push it through the ground, or if I was trying to pull my hands towards my legs, okay? So you want to get far enough back that you feel like you can lean forward like this. That could mean too that you have to bend your knees. You could need a higher chair, a lower chair. You could do this on the wall too by just putting your hands against the wall like this, okay? Whew. These pants fall down all the time. I don't keep pulling them up. Okay, so keep pushing your hands down into the chair. And as you do that, you're going to just use your lower body, bend at your hips, and bring your head through. You should feel this stretch in the front of your arms, kind of like in your armpits. And then you use your arms to pull you back up. So you just sit back into the stretch here, and up for strength. So I'm using my arms to pull me back up. I don't have to come up too far, it's enough. And then I'm going to use my lower body, just bending at my hips to come through. If this is intense on your legs, you can bend your legs. That would be totally fine to bend your knees. And you go up and down. Now you should feel this stretch in the front right through here. If you feel it on the top of your shoulders or behind your shoulder blades, it means that you have some cleanup to do, so you can just stop doing the stretch. If it feels good, feel free to keep doing it, okay? And then when you're ready, we're going to move into another stretch. Leah, I see you. I'm so glad you're here. It's so exciting. This is great. You guys, I've been doing these classes all week, and this is the first time that people have actually chimed in on the chat. So I love you so much for chiming in. It helps me to still feel connected, even though, like, you know, it's now I don't feel like it's just me talking to my computer. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So great. Okay, let's go ahead and work on the back of our shoulders. So you're going to bring your hands together. In Ohio, we play this game called the potato game, where you put your hands like this and you tap everyone's hands. So it's like a potato. So bring your hands together, interlocked, and then your thumb over top of your head. So I'm just hovering like right over my crown chakra, about an inch over. And then from here, you're going to squeeze your elbows and then open up. You want to keep your hands right over your head so that when you squeeze like this stretch goes into your rotator cuff in the back of your shoulders. It'll feel like here. It could be like all the way back here too. That would be okay, all right? So let's do a couple of those. If you feel like you can close your elbows all the way, that's great. But if you can't, that's good too. So just move in the range that feels good to you, even if it's this much. Sometimes people, though, will try to get their elbows together and they'll fall all the way down. So don't do that. Just keep your hands up high. That way it stays in your rotator cuff. All right. Squeezing it and open up. Okay. Now we're going to work on the top of our shoulders. This is for your deltoids. So bring your right arm into the side and grab your wrist with your opposite hand and try to pull both arms apart. Now here's the cool thing about this stretch. Everything's like 90-degree angles. So I am completely straight up and down here. I'm sitting on my knees, but you don't have to do that. You could sit in a chair even to do this stretch. So only sit in the way that feels comfortable to you. So my arms into the side. I'm straight down here. I'm straight out here. I'm going to grab my wrist on top. So like this should feel like a box. And then my other arm even is like I'm bent at 90 degrees, right? Everything's really tucked in here. Now from here, you're going to resist like you're trying to pull both arms apart and push up towards the ceiling. And then from here, push down. So you just push down towards your hip and bring your head to the other side. So up for strength and down for stretch. And you just go back and forth. Up for strength, then down for stretch, and your head to the side. Good, you guys are doing awesome. I just want to check one thing. Lori, I see you. Yes, you can chat on the YouTube. That's a good place to do it. And Lauren too. Oh my gosh, you guys, I love you. Thank you for being here. You guys are the best. I'm just stuck in my house with my cats, and I'm happy to be stuck in my house with my cats because I'm super introverted, but it's also really kind of strange, I have to admit. Like I've always wondered like what would happen if I just went in the woods and stayed there for months. Like how long would it take before I got lonely? And I can't really say that I'm lonely. It just is weird, you know? It's just weird. Okay, now let's do the other side. So bring your left arm in, grab your wrist with your other hand, push up for strength, and then down for your stretch. And your head to the opposite side. So up for strength, down for stretch, and bring your head this time to the right. And you're going to feel this stretch all along the left side of your body. Up for strength and down for stretch, and your head to the side. Woo. I like to do a little nod in this one too. So when you get to the end here, get that stretch, and then just little nod back and forth. And that kind of wraps the stretch around the side of your neck a little bit. It grabs some of those really fine muscles that go from your jaw down to your shoulders. And I'll tell you guys, this is where we hold a lot of this. Like, yeah, right? It's definitely something that we want to keep opened up at this time, okay? All right, let's do a lat stretch. What lat stretch? I think, let's do this one. Bring your right arm up and grab your elbow with your opposite hand. And you're going to resist like you're trying to pull your elbows apart. We're activating these muscles here. And if you feel like you've got too much tricep in this stretch, like when you're here, if you feel that the stretch is here already, just open your arms up a little wider. Maybe let your elbow unbend, but don't try to force it down. From here, try to resist by pulling apart. And then use your left arm, this one, to pull towards your left knee. Now again, I'm sitting on my knees because I like to, but you could very easily do this cross-legged. You could do this sitting in a chair. You could do this with your feet in front of you like this. That would be fine. Sometimes people like to sit like this. That would be okay too. You can play around and see what feels the best to you. Your body knows. It knows what to do. Just listen, right? Just listen to your body. Now, speaking of listening to your body, where do you feel this? It should be from here to here. So just go back and forth. up for strength, and down for your stretch. Oh, so good. Now, I was talking about this the other day in class too. This muscle group tends to be the group where we try to hold on to life, right? If you think about your arms like pulling into the side, and when you think about like, I don't know, like when you were at the grocery store this week and it was awful, it was like you just wanted to kind of like be in your own space. Like I just want to like, I don't like this. I don't like this change that's happening. I just want to pull in. So that pulling in motion is what we're trying to reverse, that tightness. So let's go ahead and bring your left arm up, grab your elbow with your other hand, and think about that feeling of like wanting to like hunker in so that you don't fly away, right? It's kind of like, I'm going to stay right here. So let's see if we can reverse that. So try to pull your arms apart and then take your right arm and pull towards your right hip and just open up all of that area that's been so tight because you feel so resistant to the change that's happening. I mean, you guys, it's happening. We don't have any choice. Life is going to be different. And I think it's going to be really interesting to look back and see how we change and grow and what comes out of this. I think it could be, I mean, right now it sucks, but it could be really, really amazing. So just go back and forth. Up for strength and down for your stretch. And just let go of all of that nonsense. Oh, oh. Hi, Skitty. What are you doing? This is Skitty, you guys. You've all heard me talk about my cats. She's so old, she doesn't want me to do that. I know. But she likes to be included, so here she is. Poor Skitty. Her poor little legs. All right, so now we're going to go back to our stretch for our chest. So grab your chair, or again, you can do this against the wall if you just have your hands like this on the wall and you push through. But what you're going to do is focus on trying to push your hands through the chair towards your legs. For those of you who are used to my class, you could, sorry, Skitty, I just sat on her. You could also do this like downward dog. That would be okay too. I know. Okay, so now push your arms down into the mat and then pull yourself through. You use your lower body to pull you through. And then use your arms to push you up. And your legs pull you down. Hey, Skitty. What are you doing? You lay down. She was up in bed. I fed you. You have all the water. Everything's good. She's just bored. This is how you live your life every day. There's so much we could learn from our cats, you guys. Yeah, eat, sleep, cuddle, repeat. That's what they do. Play a little bit. All's good. Okay, get out of here. All right, so now let's stretch out the back of your shoulders. So bring your hands together, thumbs over your head, and squeeze your elbows. And open for your strength training move. So you just go back and forth, squeezing in for stretch, opening up for strength. You'll feel your shoulder blades open and close. So as you're here, your shoulder blades are really open. When you pull your elbows apart, you'll feel your shoulder blades come together. And those are the muscles we're stretching out. Skitty, get out of the way. Okay, I think she's good now. She's eating. Oh, one more, okay? Because that feels really good. Okay, let me get this chair out of the way. I know, Lauren, these are my babies. That's Skitty, and Surrey will, I'm sure, make an appearance very soon. They've just discovered that there's food in their dish, so they're very excited. All right, now bring your left arm, I'm sorry, this will be your right arm. Bring your right arm in close to your body. Grab your wrist with your other hand, and resist like you're trying to pull both arms apart. So you're going to push up for strength and down for your stretch. Come here, Surrey. Hi, Bubba. Don't drink my water. It's not for you. Listen, not for you. This is Surrey. She's so fat. Yes. Okay, up for strength. Do not drink my water. Don't. and pull down for your stretch. Bring your head to the opposite side. So bringing my head to the left side, your neck will stretch here, the top of your shoulder here. I'm going to show you guys a different way to do this. So as you come down into this stretch, pin your head to the side, and now instead of nodding your head back and forth, take your arm and swim it like you're a shark in the ocean. Do it nice and slow, and you'll feel this stretch kind of wrap now around the top of your shoulder. That's pretty lovely. Oh. And move around the way that you feel the best to do. You know what? There's this word in the stretching world called pandiculation. I know I've told you guys about this in class before. Maybe for those of you who are watching, online, that you've never heard me in class before talk about science. But there's this great word called pandiculation, and pandiculation is basically what cats do when they're like laid in the sun and they're like, oh, right? It's what you do when you wake up in the morning and you kind of like stretch your feet out and just kind of move in the way that your body wants to move. That's called pandiculation. So we can do that a little bit in these stretches, and that actually stretches your fascia. So when we do our resistance stretch, like just up and down here, you feel the muscle burn. It's kind of, just like a little bit of tug deep in the belly of the muscle. That's your muscle stretching. When you move at the end of the stretch, so here, if I'm just resisting and I bring my head to the side and maybe a little nod, that's fascia. That's a little different, right? If I pin my head to the side and move here, that's a fascia stretch. And it'll feel more superficial, like on the top of, it's almost like your skin stretching, but like deeper than your skin, if that makes sense. Really tune into what your body's telling you. So up for strength and down for stretch. Okay, and now since we've done all of these stretches, let's get back into our lat stretch again. Then you can bring your right arm up and grab your elbow with your left hand and try to pull your arms apart. And then pull with your left hand towards your left knee. And up for strength. Sorry, you can't lay there. I guess you can. It makes her look gigantic. It's like I have a lion cat. She's not really that big. Up for strength and down for stretch. Now, if you guys know any of the other lat stretches that I've taught in class, feel free to do them right now. Like another good one would be the one where you pull like this, where your arms across and you pull. That would be a great one too. You could also stretch out your forearms like this if you know this stretch. But for those of you who don't know these stretches, just stick to this one for now. Bring your left arm up and grab your elbow with your other hand and resist like you're trying to pull both arms apart. And then use your right arm to pull you forward and down towards your right knee. And you just go up and down. Up for strength and down for stretch. And again, take your time in these stretches. Feel this muscle opening up. Make sure that you're paying attention to exactly what you're feeling. Because you guys, I think a lot of us are dissociating, which means that we're kind of like getting out of our bodies. We're a lot in our heads right now. We're just not listening to ourselves. And you can take this opportunity when you really listen to your muscles, when you really listen to what's happening, to be very present in the moment. This is a time when like nothing else matters, right? Just the only thing that matters right now is your lat. So feel it, really feel it opening up and enjoy it, okay? All right, let's work on some other ones. Let's do our quad stretch. We're going to do our quad stretch in a quad pump, and then we're going to come back to it after we've cleaned some of these up and really get a deep quad stretch. So what I want you to do is lay back on your back, grab your right leg behind with both hands, and then hook your left leg on top of your right leg. So you're going to push up for strength. Your right leg is pushing up towards the ceiling, and your left leg pulls down. So you just go up and down like this. The right leg is pushing up, your left leg is pushing down. Up for strength and down for stretch. Oh, can you guys hear this cat fight happening? Come here, Skitty. Come here. Oh, I'll tell you, it's the problem when you have a teenage cat and a grown-up cat. They're not happy together. I'm sure if any of you guys have teenagers in your house right now, you understand. That's what Skitty and Surrey are doing. Up for strength and down for stretch. God bless any of you guys who have kids in your house right now. I don't know that I could do it. And I love children, but whew, it's tough. So your left leg is pushing up now and your right leg's fighting, and then your right leg will pull you down. Hi, Bubba. You just lay down right there. Up for strength and down for stretch. Now you guys should feel this in your quads right here in the front, okay? And again, if anything doesn't feel good at any time, just don't do it. Kick your cat with your feet. Now, grab your right leg with your right hand. I've got my thumb on the bottom. You guys are taking over my space. Kick down for strength, and you're going to pull up at a diagonal for your stretch. This is medial hamstring. My knee is open about 45 degrees to the side, and I'm going to kick down for strength and up for stretch. Now, you have a choice as to whether you want your bottom leg here to be bent or straight. It really doesn't matter. Don't drink my water. Oh, man. Well, that one's lost. Down for strength and up for stretch. You should feel the inner part of your hamstring right here. And again, if you don't feel that, just go ahead and skip this stretch and we'll come back to it later. And now left leg. So bring your left leg up, let your knee open up about 45 degrees to the left, and then grab your heel with your left hand, thumb pointing down so that your thumb is wrapped around your heel, okay? Kick down for strength, and then pull up for your stretch. And you just go back and forth. Down for strength, and up for stretch. And again, you should feel this in the inner part of your hamstring right through here, right on the inside. If you feel it on the outside, you can go ahead and skip this stretch and we'll come back to it. Or if you feel any pinching in your hips, if anything doesn't feel good, you just let it go. Rest for this stretch. Let's do one more. Down for strength and up for stretch. All right. Next stretch we're going to do is for your inner thighs. So you're going to bring your feet together, your elbows apart. Elbows or knees are different words. Sometimes I get confused. Bring your feet together, your knees open, so you're kind of like in a butterfly position. And then put your elbows on your knees. You're going to push down and sweep open. This is your strength training move. And then your legs are going to push up this way, okay? So when you strength train, your arms are sweeping open, your legs are pushing in. Then use your arms to open you up. Continue resisting with your legs so that if you slipped, your arms would fly out and your legs would come up. You can lean forward into the stretch a little bit if it feels good, and you just go back and forth. Skitty, this is not very good social distancing. You're so helpful. She's so unfazed. Yeah, she just doesn't care. Okay. Open for your stretch, and then up for strength. Okay, and now we're going to work on a stretch for your outer hamstring. Now, we've been doing like the lateral hamstring on the floor in class, but I kind of want to do one that will help you with your balance. One thing that's very fascinating about resistance stretching is that it was actually a tool, like it was kind of originated from a book called Astrofit, which I don't know if I've talked to you about. This book is totally out of print now. This guy created an entire workout around eccentric training, around like either the lowering of the weight or like resistance stretching, basically is what we call it now. He created an entire system for astronauts when they go to outer space so that their muscles don't atrophy. How amazing is that? So now that we're sitting at home, not walking around like we normally do, not putting weight on our bodies like we normally do, then we kind of run the risk of atrophy, which is why it's very important to keep moving and to keep doing these strength training moves, because life's a little different than it was a week ago. Like, I'm not walking all the way to the train anymore. I'm not getting up and down as much as I was before. I'm not carrying a bag. I'm not having to like work on my balance, you know? So let's work on our balance a little bit in this stretch. So come up into a standing position. I'm just going to back this up a little bit and see if you can see me a little better. Okay, well, it's close enough. So basically I know.
Thanks for being patient, you guys. Whole different world. It's a whole different world.
All right, good. I've been trying to figure out how to get my phone to film from my phone because the camera's better, but unfortunately it echoes the sound, so I can't figure it out, so I have to use my laptop. That's why this camera. Anyway, so what you're going to do is plant your left leg on the floor. Have a wall close by just in case you need it. Take your right leg and stick your heel back away from you. And as you do that, you're going to tip your head forward. When you feel like you're going to fall over, squeeze yourself back up. Okay, so this is very active. I'm actually lifting my right leg, and I'm not going to touch the floor when I come back down. So if you're in a place where your balance is not so great, then you may just want to practice lifting your right leg off the floor. You might want to practice kind of like river dancing so that you can always get back. But you want to make sure that you're controlled the whole time. If you want to go into this full stretch, plant your left leg, your right leg comes straight out, and you come down towards the floor. And back up. And this is controlled the whole time. So I always feel like I can keep control of my balance. Now, if you want, you can just move in small ranges. So like maybe this far to this far, that would be okay. But this is going to be really helpful for your balance. So this is a good stretch. It's also one that you can do like when you're just sitting at home, when you're on your phone, when you're on those video calls. I mean, maybe not video calls because everyone will be like, what are you doing? But when you're on those like work calls all the time, you can do this and it just really reinforces your balance. So let's try our right side again. I want you to sit right there. Okay, so your right leg will plant, just really skinny. Okay, and your left leg will move around the way that it wants to. You kind of challenge your balance that way. When you feel like you can, bring your left leg behind and tip your body forward. So that you come into a stretch. The stretch is actually for your planted leg. So this is my right leg, and it's planted on the ground, and I'm feeling the stretch through the outside of my hamstring. I really feel the strength move when I come back up. So you come down for strength. You can use your wall a little bit just if you feel nervous. And then pull back up. But try not to rely on the wall. And if you're using the wall, like really using it to stay from falling over, then you're going too far. So basically what you're going to want to do in that case is only lift your foot and put it back down. And if you can't even do that, just lift your heel and try to take the weight off of your left leg. That's enough because that's going to put all of that force into your left leg to make sure that you're resisting in the best way. All right? Okay, good job, you guys. Let's come back to our normal camera angle. There we go. Sorry about that, especially if you guys get a little camera motion sick. I was teaching a piano lesson the other day online, and the mom was like, whoa, with the camera, and I was like, this is going to be a tough lesson. You guys know, it's going to be really tough. Okay, so now we're going to go back into our quads and stretch out the front here. Now you are welcome to do the same stretch we did before, which was the quad hop, where you lay on your back and hook one leg over the top and go up and down. For those of you who want a little bit of a different stretch, a deeper stretch, we're going to go into our quad stretch at the wall. So take your towel or your mat, make sure that it's doubled up really well so that you have a lot of support, like a lot of cushion, and you're going to put that towel up against the wall. Then come down into a kneeling position. I'm on all fours. I'm going to take my right leg and lift it up so that my foot is flat on the wall. Find my towel for my knee, and then come around to the front so that I'm in a lunge here. My back leg is actually flat, so my foot is flat like this on the wall. If you want to turn it so that you're